Hi everyone, it's Chenzo from RealityArtPod here to talk about week 4 of Big Brother 26. I'll recap all the episodes that happened this week, give my commentary along the way, and talk about the evicted player. Last time on Big Brother, young Cedric's HOH week came to an end with Kenny, Tucker, and newly nominated by America Quinn on the block. Tucker saved himself, which spelled the end for Sweet Kenny K's sausage party. Before I dive in, I put a link in the description to my playlist where you can catch up on my previous recaps and rankings. If you like the content, consider liking and subscribing. But let's dive into it. We start the week with Sunday night's nomination episode, picking up on day 24 where Kenny was just shown the door. Cedric acknowledges his failure in getting Tucker out and proclaims that Tucker will be his target for the rest of the season, and Tucker is still coming for Quinn, and maybe Cedric. Quinn is jubilant that he survived being nominated by America.
Quit playing with me! Quit playing with me!
Tucker is seemingly public enemy number 1 with the collective coming for him, and not a lot of real allies. Quinn also has his power to steal the HOH, so they head into this HOH competition really fighting for immunity if they need it. The HOH competition is called Bad AI, where AI noob Ainsley has yet again messed up at her job and has ruined some AI images. The house guests need to step up in twos and buzz in the image that's messed up fastest, eliminating their opponent. Chemo and Cam are up first, and honestly, all of these images are badly photoshopped, but the errors are pretty obvious. Cam gets that Pooch has too many fingers and eliminates Chemo. Cam then sets up the face-off of Quinn and Tucker, where Quinn's plan is to guess C as quickly as possible and hope it's right, which is terrible strategy, especially when you're up against your target Tucker. Why wouldn't you really try to get this right? Quinn tells us he was trying. I hope he was throwing with this poor performance. After Quinn gets it wrong, Tucker picks Chelsea and Angela. Angela quickly finds a horse head on a dinosaur and nominates Rubina and Brooklyn to go next. Brooklyn eats Rubina alive and takes revenge on Angela, squaring her off against Mackenzie, and Angela clocks that Jasmine's hands are feet. Wait the half. Angela then picks Brooklyn and Leah. At this point, shots have been fired in the married mother war.
I am furious.
Brooklyn gets tripped up by Red. How can you focus looking at that luscious red beard? Blang blang. So Brooklyn's eliminated, and Leah nominates Cam and Joseph, where Cam eliminates Joseph and nominates Tikor and Tucker. Tikor quickly slays her near namesake, putting up Angela and Leah. Angela is locked and loaded, leaning into the void and quickly buzzes incorrectly. They also did Jared so dirty with this picture. Why is he making that face? After Cam eliminates Tikor, it comes down to Cam and Angela. Angela is ready for war. I've never seen anyone more prepared to do anything. It's the locked knees. It's the glasses planted firmly on the nose in front of the eyes. It's the deep breathing and the forward lean. Angela quickly spots the errors in Blue's picture, "Occur, Miss Kitty Purr," and wins a much needed HOH, securing her safety for the week and of course getting emotional and losing her crap. Angela wants to play this HOH differently than last time, meaning no public outbursts, including calling your other players things like crazy eyes. A loss for all of us at home, truly. After the competition, Brooklyn is still pissed at Angela for targeting her in the competition, and now worried and pretty certain that Angela is going to nominate her. So Brooklyn meets with Angela, and these two have such a complicated relationship because night 1, it seems like they had a mother's final 2, but that's fallen apart. Angela tells Brooklyn she's in a way better spot in the game than Angela, and now they're competitors. They end up finding no resolution.
Angela now has an enemy in me.
Following their conversation, Angela's trying to make herself cry, but the performance isn't even good enough for a low-budget movie. Angela is convinced that she's making initial nominations that will be replaced by Quinn's nominations, so Angela spends the evening planning, having one-on-ones, and telling people what she's gonna do. Elsewhere, Tucker and Rubina are flirty, touching, almost kissing, and oh hey, Rubina's on the show. They're feeling each other even though neither want to be in a showmance, but more on that later. Quinn and Angela meet, and she isn't down to play along with Quinn, who did seem open to collaborating and working together on the nominations, but based on Angela's behavior, Quinn decides there's something wrong with Angela and he needs to do it alone. Quinn tells us that the Pentagon isn't his real alliance. He's using them as a shield, and his true alliance is to the Visionaries with Tikor and Chemo. He tells the Visionaries that he wants to target Tucker this week, then holds meetings in the have-not room in a full costume. Cedric pretty quickly offers himself up as a pawn to help get Tucker out, and everyone in the Pentagon's cool with it. Messy Mary Ainsley summons the house guests, where we get the reveal of Deepfake Angela, and the quality of this is great. None of them are really shocked, besides Angela, who's more just freaked out at seeing herself, I guess. I wish we could have gotten to see this happen completely anonymously, but oh well. Fake Angela nominates Tucker, Mackenzie, and Cedric, and Ainsley does reveal to the group that Angela's HOH has been taken over by somebody else, which I guess is obvious. I think the only way to make this really frame the actual HOH is if everyone did their nominations through hologram all season and have 1 week where it gets taken over. That would have created good drama. Quinn then does a post-nomination speech telling the group that he put up Cedric to beat Tucker in the veto competition, only firing Tucker her up even more. So that wraps up the Sunday episode. We were also treated to a Tuesday night recap episode, which really was just bonus content and a recap for returning viewers who maybe weren't watching because of the Olympics, where Jag, Taylor, and Cody returned. They all look great and perform well, but Taylor really shines behind the desk and could be a panelist on the Talk or the View type show. I actually wouldn't mind this kind of weekly panel show all summer where 3 alums break down the week's events, but they're really coming for my gig. This was a greatest hits of the show, including of course the Crazy Eyes fight, but I wish there were some unseen bits. But then Sloppy Mess Ainsley shows up at the end of the episode to tease us, announcing the existence of but no details of the AI instigator twist. More on that later, but what a bait and switch for anyone who was watching this to find out about the twist. So anyway, on to the Wednesday episode. Following Fraudgela's nominations, Angela is happy that she has no blood on her hands and can play in the veto to save Tucker. Showmance Tubina hug it out in the kitchen. Rubina calls Tucker her shield and says it's a risk being attached to him, but
no risk, no magic, baby.
Tucker is the target for Quinn and the gang, but they clarify that Quinn doesn't automatically play in veto, but does choose the replacement if veto is used. Joseph and Leah are shown laying around watching everyone work out. Leah calls Angela PTA Zilla, which is hilarious, and Leah says her active strategy is to lay around doing nothing.
America's like, will these people ever do anything?
No.
No.
In a meeting that really happened last week, the collective meet in HOH, except Chemo, who is always sleeping when they meet. Joseph takes credit for them meeting, which is fair because he really put in the work for this. The collective reforming is perfect for Quinn because he has the Pentagon, the Visionaries, and his buddy Joseph all in one alliance. In a more present-day alliance meeting, Brooklyn suggests that if Tucker saves himself with the veto, they nominate Rubina in his place as a way to bait Tucker into either not using the veto or throwing the AI arena comp to protect Rubina. Quinn calls this plan diabolical and genius, and this scene really paints Brooklyn as an evil mastermind, or maybe not so much a mastermind. Tucker sees he and Joseph as 2 peas in a pod and asks Joseph to be in a final 2. They call it the Critics, and Joseph basically tells us this is a fake alliance that could become real if Tucker keeps himself around. They pick players for the veto competition. Tucker gets houseguest choice and chooses his critic buddy Joseph. Cedric also gets to choose and picks Brooklyn. Someone who can hardly keep herself together, Ainsley, has now decided she wants to test the houseguest's brains. This is a fun Squid Game bridge style memory game where they need to navigate the bridge, guessing the green tiles, and if they step on a red tile, they need to go back to the beginning. They'll be playing tournament style, eliminating players along the way. This is part speed, memory, and luck. But why would you do a tournament with 6 players? The chart makes no sense, forcing them to let the player with the fastest score from round 1 straight to the finals. Round 1 sees Brooklyn versus young Cedric. Brooklyn tells us they're both fighting to take Cedric off the block to backdoor Rubina, but she hopes it's her. She wants to be the one to do it, but why? It would be way better for her game to let Seti do it. This looks like a lot of fun, and young Cedric wins the round, eliminating our evil queen Brookie. Round 2 sees Mackenzie and Angela. These two both struggle, especially Angela, who keeps pressing the same button. Mackenzie takes the round, and Rubina continues to change her voice.
Sorry, Angela. Please take a seat.
Underreported, but Rubina should have a career in voice acting with that Tommy Pickles ass voice. Next up, we see Twinkle Toes Tucker against his final 2 Joseph. Tucker has really streamlined the strategy and probably does this in the best time anyone possibly could. Crumbs weren't left, so Tucker heads to the final round, and Cedric and Mackenzie face off to see who'll join him. As they go, they realize they could just copy each other, and the edit kind of dunks on Mackenzie here.
I choose to make my move, and I'm just hoping that God's on my side.
There's no way Julie approved this edit. So Cedric wins the round and will join Tucker in the final round, where these rivals square up.
You and me, final round, binary bridge, let's handle it.
Now I'm gonna kick your ass.
Look folks, I'll be clear. Tucker does kick Cedric's ass and wins the veto. Nobody, including him, is more excited than Angela, and it means that the plan to have Cedric go on the block to beat Tucker is a royal flopperino. Tucker will go on to consider doing something crazy, hinting to Mackenzie he might use the veto to save her, and when he brings up the idea of staying on the block to win AI Arena, Angela is adamant and begs him to use the veto on himself. Him staying on the block would of course be a dream for the Pentagon and a terrible game move.
They will vote his ass out. Oh, that's how mad I am.
At the veto meeting, Tucker uses the veto on himself, declaring that he's still coming for Quinn, and Fraudgela tells the House that the replacement nominee was Rubina, as was the plan all along. Boring ceremony, and I feel like the collective could have laid it on thick with the plan to get him to not use this veto to protect Rubina. But anyway, moving on to the Thursday show, where Julie is wearing Miss Mary Mac's dress backwards. She's all dressed in black with silver buttons going down her front. We pick back up where we left off after the veto ceremony. In the evening, Chemo tells Quinn and T T-Core that he feels on the bottom of the collective because Quinn has told them about the Pentagon existing in the past. Quinn tells them that he doesn't want to flip on the Pentagon until Tucker's out of the game. We see the forming of a new alliance called the 5 Points with Tucker, Rubina, Chemo, T-Core, and Brooklyn. Chemo and T-Core like this alliance more than the collective, but especially with Brooklyn in it, it's not a real thing. As they talk about this, without Brooklyn there, Angela is being Angela, eavesdropping on the floor. She even took off her glasses so she could focus on hearing. The way I aspire to be this level of crack. Angela decides she wants to be in their alliance, so as anyone would, she approaches them and begs them. They stare at her blankly until Savior Tucker invites her in, and they name this absolutely fake alliance the Tanks because there's a fish tank right there. T-Core and Chemo brainstorm because they have too many options. They're especially disturbed by the possibility of Mackenzie winning AI Arena, and Cedric and Rubina being on the block together. They like Rubina more than Cedric, but Cedric is in the collective. Their plan, if Mackenzie wins, would be to vote with Tucker, Leah, and Mackenzie to keep Rubina, so they approach Leah and she's down for this. Mackenzie is of course down for anything because nobody's wanted to work with her for a month. T-Core and Chemo agonize over this for days, and then there's this. I think we should vote the Pentagon. I can't believe they televised that. We head to the live AI Arena competition where you must be this tall to hit this button. They're playing upload download. They need to first roll 5 balls onto their platform, then use gray balls to knock those balls off the platform. They get started and Mackenzie gets off to an early lead, and I'm getting excited watching, as Mackenzie winning would cause ultimate chaos. Rubina gets her balls uploaded first, but in an off-camera moment, Mackenzie gets all of her balls and knocks them off first, winning the AI Arena, and oh my god, this is such a finger-licking good TV moment. This is why I love the show. To think it's Thursday night, and after the AI Arena, I have 2 people on the block, and I have no idea who's going home. Chef's kiss, baby. Julie talks to the house. They're all so nervous, and Julie reminds them they'll have a few minutes to strategize, and tells them that Mackenzie won the AI Arena. They cheer, but it's lukewarm because the easy option is no more. And Julie gets her wish. The house guests split up. Cedric pleads to T-Core and Chemo. Brooklyn pulls Rubina aside and tells her she's voting her out. They give them ample time, but we don't really get an idea of what's going to happen. The nominees give their speeches, and the nominees and the voters are all upset, with close-ups on Chemo and T-Core, who are really put in a bad place here. We head to the voting where Quinn isn't allowed to vote. Votes to evict Rubina are Chelsea, Brooklyn, and Cam, and votes to evict Cedric are Tucker, Mackenzie, Leah, Chemo, T-Core, and Joseph. So Julie reveals by a vote of 6-3, Cedric is evicted. He takes it well and leaves with grace. Shocked, Rubina and Tucker hug. Brooklyn is especially shocked and pissed. Cedric leaves and joins Julie, and Julie tells us about the AI instigator twist. We get to vote for a house guest who can basically just troll the house guests and start rumors with the proto box. We also get to vote on how much money they get as a reward based on how well they did. This is so lame and not a power at all. Cedric's interview with Julie is energetic, he's funny and smart. So we say goodbye to Cedric here, who came into the show the youngest on the cast, planning to play younger brother to the other house guests and hide the fact that he was an ex-military intelligence officer, a really cool backstory that was never really fully explored on the show, and we didn't get to see many of those skills in practice here. He was fun-loving, energetic, bright, and loyal, being in the core alliance for his entire time in the house, only to end up being so confident in his group that he volunteered himself to Quinn, who I'd suspected was out to get him the whole time. And he did get his alliance ratted out by Quinn, so truly trusting Quinn was the biggest mistake Cedric could have made. He should have trusted Tucker last week and backdoored Quinn, and is a great example of why you don't volunteer to go on the block. Overall, Cedric ate, but he did leave some crumbs. I'd like to see him on TV again, maybe on the challenge or something, because I think this was a great learning experience for young Cedric. At the end of the episode, Julie tells us the house guests will be playing in the wall comp later, and everyone, including Quinn and Angela, will get to play. Overall, what I expected to be a completely predictable week with an HOH that we knew was going to be the HOH for weeks ends up being one of the most unpredictable Thursday shows I can remember. I'm living for the good TV. I can't wait to see this live HOH, and I'm excited. Week 5, the game is cracked wide open. After I post this, I'm going to get started on my rewrites for my player rankings this week. If you like the video, give me a like, comment, and subscribe. I do weekly Big Brother recaps every Thursday and Challenge 40 recaps every Wednesday. And like I said, I'll be back later tonight with my week 4 player rankings video. Until next time, bye.